If you're not sobered to speechlessness by the reality that your children are a heritage, both in the gift that you've received and as a responsibility you're to steward, you're just not seeing reality. And I mean it in this way. There are two things that you need to know are true in the world. Fact number one is that there is nothing in the planet, there is nothing on the globe that will shape a person more than their heritage and their personal history. Nothing. Nothing. I've lost count of how many counseling sessions I've sat in and participated in with a husband or wife. And the wife is there and she's listing off example after example after example of emotional or physical or spiritual abuse. Not in an accusatory way, just getting the facts on the table. I'm asking her questions, asking him questions. And as she's talking about things he has said or things he has done and how that made her feel on their wedding night or on their honeymoon or when they had their first child or when she was sick, and she's listing these scenarios out over the course of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or sometimes 30 years, and as she's saying them, I've lost count of how many men I've watched begin to weep and put their head on the table and whisper, almost incomprehensibly, "Dear God, I've become the man I hated. I've lost count of the men who've sat in my office and began spilling their guts. When my dad was 12, he did this. And when he was 7, he said this. And when I was 5, this happened. And when I was 14, he wasn't there. And when I was 18, this happened. And when I was 23, he called it and he said this. And, dear God, I've become the man I hated." It's just profoundly staggering to listen to her describe her experience be married to this man, and then him describe his experience growing up in his father's home, whether the father was there or not. It's almost spooky, because the reality exists in the world God created. There is no one who will have more influence in a child's life than the mother and the father that he gives them to.